Two male bettas are placed in the same tank. They've never met, never seen each other before. But from the very first second, what's about to happen is already decided. Gills flare open, fins stretch and spread wide, colors deepen and intensify, and then the attack begins, relentless, without pause, until one of them is completely defeated. This is how it happens in the wild. This is how it happens in the aquarium. And here's what's surprising. This aggression isn't learned behavior. The moment a betta sees another male, that response triggers automatically, like flipping a switch. But why? Scientists are still working to understand exactly which circuit fires in a betta's brain the instant it sees another male. This isn't just anger, it's a hardwired combat reflex. And the strangest part is that this reflex can actually be changed. We'll get to the mysterious neural circuit that neuroscientists at Columbia University are still studying today, and to the critical detail I'll share at the end of the video about when and how this fish's aggression can actually shift. But it all starts in a rice paddy. If you enjoy this kind of behavioral biology content, consider subscribing, because the betta's story is stranger than you'd expect. Betta splendens, the Siamese fighting fish, comes from the shallow waters of Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. Rice paddies, swamps, forest floors submerged beneath monsoon floodwaters. In these environments, space is tight, resources are scarce, and oxygen is low. And every male betta is in constant competition for a small patch of territory where it can build a bubble nest. That territory isn't just living space, it's reproductive access. A male with a nest gets to mate. A male without one doesn't. When a male loses his territory, he doesn't just lose his space, he loses his chance to pass his genes on. For hundreds of thousands of years, evolution favored the most aggressive males. A male betta will even chase away the female while defending his nest. Once the eggs are fertilized, she gets processed as a threat too. This instinct is so deeply encoded that it runs at full strength in an aquarium, even when there is no real threat anywhere in sight. But the aggression nature built into this fish was taken even further by human hands. Thai gamblers pitted male bettas against each other, then bred the winners and did it again. This went on for centuries. Winners were bred, losers were eliminated, generation after generation. Then, European hobbyists took those same fighting fish and began breeding them for an entirely different purpose, color and fin beauty. But both selection pressures did the same thing. They made the aggression genetically stronger. The betta you pick up at the pet store today is the product of centuries of that selective pressure. The aggression in this fish is instinctual. It fires without any training or prior experience the moment another male comes into view. Neuroscientist Andres Bendeski at Columbia University has spent years studying the betta genome. His goal? Which genes are actually controlling this aggression? What exactly happens in this fish's brain when it sees another male? The answer is more complicated than you'd think. A betta's aggression isn't just hormonal. It's visually triggered, like a switch. A confrontation begins with a visual display phase. The two fish take turns watching each other, flaring their gills, fanning out their fins, turning broadside. This is ritualized aggression. The fish that flares less is usually the one that backs down and retreats. But this visual phase frequently escalates into biting. Researchers are now mapping the neural circuits that connect a betta's visual system to the muscles controlling its gill covers. Because that circuit fires automatically the moment a male sees another male. And that response runs at full intensity for 30 minutes straight without weakening at all. This fish doesn't get tired. It doesn't give up. As long as the rival stays in its field of vision, the attack continues. But here's a fascinating question buried in all of this. Is what triggers this response really another fish? You bring a mirror. You place it in front of the betta. The gills open. The fins stiffen and expand, a complete preparation for attack. This fish attacks its own reflection as well, thinking it is a rival. Moreover, it can never win, because the fish across from it copies its every move exactly. The harder it hits, the harder the reflection hits back. After a while, this situation turns into a complete vicious cycle for the fish, almost a mind game. This is exactly why researchers use mirrors. There is no need for a real rival. The reaction is the same every time, coming with full intensity every single time. So how can a piece of mirror trick this fish's brain so easily? Because it cannot understand that the image in the mirror belongs to itself. What it sees is another enemy threatening its territory and its future. In fact, tests conducted in laboratories have proven that the blood flow in the gills and the respiration rate of bettas facing a mirror skyrocket, just as if they were in the middle of a real battle. This visual stimulus is so powerful that even though there is no rival of flesh and bone in front of it, the fish spends all its energy to destroy this imaginary enemy. But now think about this. Females carry the same genome. They have the same evolutionary history. Why is this reaction so weak in them? The answer to that question is both surprising and clarifying. Same stimulus, same species, same evolutionary background, but a completely different response. In a male, that visual signal triggers an all-out aggressive response at full force. In a female, the same signal produces a far milder reaction. The primary reason is hormonal. Females don't carry the elevated androgen levels that males do. Evolution shaped them for a different role, not for territory defense. But here's what's interesting. The genetics of male bettas, selectively bred for fighting over centuries, ended up affecting the females too. Selecting for male aggression also raised female aggression to some degree, because they share the same genome. So females aren't completely calm, but they also don't have the automatic, instinctive, unstoppable aggression that males do. Which brings us to the detail I mentioned at the start of the video. Can this aggression actually change? And this is where everything shifts, because researchers discovered something unexpected. A beta's aggression may not be entirely fixed. Studies show that betas raised in groups in enriched environments display significantly lower aggression as adults. Males and females raised together show noticeably less aggressive behavior compared to those raised in isolation. So this aggression isn't 100% hardwired. The environment can shape that genetic tendency to some degree. But here's what you need to know. The adult betta you buy from a pet store was almost certainly raised in isolation for years. There's no reversing that fish's aggression at that point. And color is part of this too. Research shows that blue males display higher aggression than red males on average, meaning the color you choose can actually influence the behavior you get. What color is your fish at home? Blue or red? Now you know exactly what happens when two male bettas are placed in the same tank. This isn't a personality flaw. This is 400 years of selective breeding, millions of years of evolution, and a visual trigger burned deep into the brain. This fish cannot behave any other way. The switch just flips. But maybe the strangest thing of all is this. This fish declares war on other males. And yet it recognizes you. Every day, it looks at the same tank, sees the same face, and does not register you as a threat. Same hand, same glass, same world, but a completely different response. So what does it look like at your place? Are you genuinely the only living thing this fish doesn't go aggressive on? When does your betta flare up? And when does it settle down? Let's talk in the comments. And maybe the question we really should be asking is this: what does a betta actually see as a rival? If you don't want to miss the next video, you know what to do. See you under the water.